Chaosium Inc. is one of the oldest publishers of role-playing games still in existence. Established by Greg Stafford in 1975, its first title was the board game White Bear and Red Moon, set in Stafford's fictional fantasy gaming world of Glorantha. Over the years, Chaosium has published many acclaimed and award-winning games. These include the role-playing games Runner Quest, set in Glorantha, and Call of Cthulhu, based on the stories of H.P. Lovecraft. Many notable RPG authors have written material for Chaosium, including Steve Perrar, Sandy Peterson, Lynn Willis, Ken Rolston, Keith Herber, Charlie Crank, David Kanyes, Ken Street, Andre, Robin Laws, Jonathan Tweet, and David A. Haygrave. History. Greg Stafford founded the Chaosium in 1975 to publish his board game White Bear and Red Moon. He derived the name partly from his home, which was near the Oakland Coliseum. Combining Coliseum with Chaos. In 1978, Chaosium published Steve Perrin's role-playing game Runner Quest, set in Stafford's mythic fantasy setting Glorantha, following up with a second edition in 1980 and various supplements over the next 6 years. In 1980, the company officially incorporated as Chaosium Inc. That year, Stafford and Lynn Willis simplified the Runner Quest rules into the 16-page basic role-playing. These simulationist, skill-based generic rules formed the basis of many of Chaosium's later D100 RPGs, most notably Call of Cthulhu, first published in 1982, which has remained a significant hit through subsequent editions. Chaosium entered into a licensing agreement with Avalon Hill in 1983 to produce a third edition of Runner Quest. Avalon Hill manufactured and marketed the game, while Chaosium was responsible for acquisitions, design, development and layout. This relationship was not financially successful for Chaosium, although several high-quality and well-received products were produced in a so-called Runner Quest Renaissance, after Avalon Hill brought acclaimed game designer Ken Rolston on board to manage the line as RuneStar. Following the financial failure of the collectible card game Mythos, Greg Stafford resigned as Chaosium president in 1998 and left the company. Along with Sandy Peterson, Chaosium effectively split up into various successor companies, each maintaining its focus on a few of the company's products. Stafford took the rights to his game set in Glorantha, setting up the company Chaosium Inc. to continue publishing this line. Longtime employees and part owners Charlie Crank and Lynn Willis remained at Chaosium as president and editor-in-chief respectively. Continuing on with Call of Cthulhu as the main product line, problems and delays fulfilling the Kickstarters for the 7th edition of Call of Cthulhu led Stafford and Peterson to return to an active role at Chaosium in June 2015. Charlie Crank subsequently left the company. Later that year at Gen Con 2015, Stafford and Peterson announced Moon Design Publications were now part of the Chaosium ownership, and the 4 principals of Moon Design had become the new Chaosium management team. Chaosium once again became the licensed publisher for Runner Quest, Hero Quest and other products related to Glorantha and Universe, and continue to publish the Call of Cthulhu line. Stafford and Peterson remained as board members and creative consultants to the company. Magazines. 3 magazines, now all defunct, were being published by Chaosium to promote its products. Williams Footnotes ran for 14 issues from 1976 to 1995. Initially it was a supporting material publication for White Bear and Red Moon, but for its 11th issue, in 1981, it had become the official Runner Quest magazine. The magazine was revived in 2012 by Moon Design Publications, continuing the issue numbering at 15, despite the 17-year hiatus. Different Worlds. 47 bi-monthly issues from Different Worlds were published. Chaosium, from 1979 to 1985, published the 38 first ones, and Sleuth Publications, from 1985 to 1987, the 9 last ones. In spite of being an old Chaosium's and Stafford's collaborator, Tadashi Ehara was the editor of the magazine during the periods concerned by both publishing houses. Starry Wisdom, a Lovecraft-themed magazine, 3 issues of which Chaosium published in 1997.